Yesterday, we read this article over conduction, convection, and radiation, and we are going to make a thinking map using what we annotated yesterday in class. So we're going to do a thinking map with each of the three terms, conduction, convection, radiation. We're going to give their definition, and then we're going to write down each example, okay? All right, so we're going to take our journal and let's put it, what do you call it, hamburger style? Turn it this way, and we're going to call it types of heat transfer. We're going to do a tree map for the three types of heat transfer. The first one we read about was conduction. Do you guys want to do the terms and then the definitions, or do you want to do each term, definition, and examples? Okay, we're just going to talk conduction first then. Okay, conduction is when heat moves from one solid to another. We underlined that definition. Conduction is when heat moves from one solid to another. Okay, one of the examples was, it said when you turn the stove on to heat up a pan, the heat moves from the burner to the pan. The heat in the pan moves to the food you were cooking. We're going to shorten that to just the example would be heating up a pan. Heating a pan. And then the other example, I don't know, back when I was y'all's age, we called it an electric blanket. There are blankets that have wires through them, and you plug it into the wall. Do they still call them electric blankets?
They're just called heater blankets.
Or heated blankets? Okay. So the example they gave in the article was an electric blanket. That blanket is on top of you, and so the heat's going directly from the blanket to you.
I want the heated blanket.
Hang on, electric, did I spell that right?
Yes.
Electric blanket. So conduction is the type of heat transfer that goes from solid to solid, like when we heat a pan, directly from the stove to the pan, and the blanket from the blanket to you. All right, the second type of heat transfer was called convection, and this is the type of heat transfer that we are going to talk about in 8th grade. So convection is defined as movement of heat through liquids and gases. So there has to be a liquid, or there has to be a gas. So movement of heat through liquids and gases. So convection is the movement of heat through liquids and gases. And one example they gave us was when you boil water in a pan. We'll just shorten it to boiling water. And the other example, do any of y'all have a space heater?
No.
A a space heater is just a heater that's set up in a room, and so we'll talk about this more tomorrow, but the warm air rises and cold air falls, and so it's essentially just a circulation of warm air rising, cold air falling, or it could be water, warm water rising, cold water falling. So we'll talk more about that tomorrow. We'll just put example space heater. And then the last is radiation. So we have radiation, and that is defined as the transfer of heat. It says the transfer of heat energy. We'll just put heat. Transfer of heat through waves.
Like the sun could
Okay, now this is considered a rough draft. So for my rough draft, I know that through is not really how you spell through, right? If I take this to write, I would go ahead and spell it correctly. But since these are my notes and I want to do it quickly, I'm going to go ahead and write what text speak or whatever. We just don't use that text speak whenever we're writing a proper paper. All right, so that's radiation. Two examples they gave us were,
microwave.
we're going to talk about that tomorrow. The sun, we get radiation just by the sun's rays. They come through waves.
Microwave.
And then the other example they gave us was a campfire. All right, we're gonna do three last things. Okay, if we were gonna take this to writing, we've got to have an introduction, okay? So intro, and y'all, I'm not gonna create the wheel. Check it out. The paper we read, we're gonna copy. Heat can be moved in many ways. So we're just gonna use that as our intro. Heat, if we can't read that, heat can be moved in many ways. Heat can be moved in many ways. Bless you. Okay, nod your head if you got that. All right. Y'all, we're going to, in any good article, we're going to name the source. Okay, where did we get this?
The back of your paper.
Yeah, we got a paper. We read an article. We read that article. Now, I noticed, oh, and y'all, I learned this. Hang on. It's called an outro? Is that right?
Yes.
I thought the kids were just kidding me when I saw outro. I'm like, that's so cute and funny. And they're like, Ms. Rothermel, that really is a thing. What? Anyway, no, I never knew. And guess what my major in college was?
What?
English. I never heard outro.
Girl, I said, what was you putting it at first?
What did what?
What was you putting it at first?
I call it a conclusion. Okay.
I was wondering why you didn't put no outro.
No, yeah, I always say intro and conclusion. Okay, guys, this article, if you notice, they don't have a conclusion.
So we don't have to have.
So what I would do, it's going to be so boring, but it will be a conclusion. Just these are the three waves heat can be. These are the three waves heat. These are the three ways heat can be transferred. Wow. Okay, these.
Oh, look, she's translating blah, blah, blah.
Okay, I can write the letter 3, right? But in my paper, I would spell it out. These are the three ways heat can be I hope I spelled transferred right. That may be wrong. Transferred 1 R or 2 R's?
2.
2? All right. Thank you, first period. Like and subscribe.